Hey, Coach Colin Castella, and welcome to another episode of the Askcoachc show. This is a show where you ask the questions and I give you the answers. All right, so the first question comes from Mr. Math Boy Reborn, and he wants to know, Coach, how do you get a faster release? I find myself taking a while to shoot, causing the defender to come up to me by the time I shoot. Now this is a phenomenal question and something that a lot of people deal with. Having a slow release does make it tougher to get off shots, and guys with a quick release are generally going to score more points. Now what's interesting is a lot of people think that their release speed has to do with what they do with their upper body. And really that doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. Sure, if you've got a two motion shot where the ball goes back before it goes forward, your release is going to be a little bit slower. But really it's kind of more about your footwork that you do and how you set up for the pass that's going to make you much better and much faster when it comes to your release speed. So here's kind of an example. A lot of players get used to catching with a 1-2 step, a slow 1-2 step. So as the ball gets passed to them, they go 1-2, slow 1-2 step into their jumper. Now the issue is that takes a lot of extra time. Now I've done a lot of breaking down of jump shots, and I've even broken down the same player shooting a 1-2 step versus a 2-footed hop, and the 1-2 step is significantly slower. So if you're shooting off of a 1-2 step, know that it's going to be a lot slower than if you're shooting off of a hop. So I really highly suggest that you start working on shooting off of a hop to where you get comfortable. That means that both feet are hitting the ground at the exact same time, keeping your heels up. That way you get that nice extra spring to launch into your shot. The rest of it has to do with kind of how you set up your body as the pass is coming. I see a lot of young players, if they're trying to shoot at the basket straight ahead of me and the ball's being passed around the horn, they turn sideways, they catch the ball, then they turn into their shot and then shoot. Now the problem with that is this is a lot of extra motion when I catch, turn, get ready to shoot, and that gives their defender extra time to get there and challenge the shot or block it or make it so they can't shoot. Right? So you want to get comfortable with setting up with the flight of the ball coming from different angles. So if I'm on the three-point line and my teammate's swinging the ball around, instead of turning my shoulders to face them, I want to keep my shoulders pointed kind of towards the basket and then work on catching the ball with my shoulders already turned. That way I can catch, dip it, and then go into my shooting motion without having to kind of reset my body towards the basket. So you want to work on a bunch of different drills where you're getting the ball, swinging from the right, swinging to the left, catching it low, catching it high, catching it one-handed to the right, catching it one-handed to the left. Basically, you want to be able to catch the ball anywhere around your entire body while keeping your shoulders squared to the basket. Now I know we don't want to square our shoulders to the basket, we want to shoot with a little bit of a turn, but you want to keep your shoulders pointing towards the basket when you're receiving the pass. If you can do that, it's going to speed up your jumper immensely, and you'll probably see that you're going to get a lot more shots just by changing out those couple of things.
Next up is a question from Billy Frost, and he wants to know, how do you prepare for a game? What I'm trying to ask is how do you get in the rhythm of shooting?
Solid question. Now I personally like to get a really good warm-up. Specifically, I like to get my joints warm. I like to get my muscles warm. I shoot a lot better if I'm warm, if I've got some form shots up, and then I'm ready to go once the game starts. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll try to get a bunch of different form shots in. I'll go one-handed form, I'll go two-handed form, I'll go like step back or live move form where I'm doing a move right next to the hoop and then shooting a two-handed form shot. That's great. I also like to get a lot of free throws in because free throws are a great way to kind of get warm and dial in your mechanics without actually having to shoot a bunch of jump shots. And then I also like to use visualization to mentally prepare for whatever it is I'm trying to do. So visualization is just kind of where you're closing your eyes, and it's almost kind of like meditation where you're trying to clear your mind and then visually focus and think about what you're going to do. If you can kind of visualize it before it actually happens, most of the time it makes it a lot easier once the game starts.
Next question up comes from Christian Wright, and he wants to know, I hate not being able to score in games. In practice, I'm a beast. I've even scored 22 points in a 6-minute scrimmage. I think it's because I try to focus too hard and begin to worry. Can you help me calm down so I can make more in games?
Awesome question. This is one that I get all the time. Players play really well in practice, and then once the game time comes, for some reason they just can't find that rhythm and they can't kind of perform as well. Some people it's because they get nervous. Sometimes it's maybe their coaching schemes that are going against them. But what I like to do is I like to set mini goals. Now mini goals are basically just the idea of before the game or before the competition, you're gonna think about some specific goals that you wanna do. And not for the entire game, but I like to set them quarter to quarter. So I might say, I might set some mini goals like this. I'm gonna say, in the first quarter, I wanna shoot at least 1 3. I wanna get to the basket twice, and I want to shoot at least 2 free throws. So you can think about that if you set goals for each quarter, you're probably going to end up scoring more points than you did without it. I know mini goals is something I talk about quite a bit, and a lot of you guys in the Splash Army have already mentioned that by implementing mini goals into your games, you're scoring more points, you're getting easier buckets, and that way you're not just kind of drifting into the game. Because once an actual game starts, sometimes it's pretty easy to kind of drift in and out, right? You kind of maybe don't get the ball for a couple possessions, you know, maybe pass it around. And if you have mini goals or specific things that you're trying to do quarter by quarter, a lot of times that will force you to be more aggressive, take more shots, and score more. You know, maybe your mini goal is to shoot 3 threes in the second quarter, and maybe you've only shot 2 and there's, you know, 45 seconds left on the clock. You know that you're going to be looking for a 3. You don't want to force it up and take a bad shot, but you know that you're going to be looking for an open 3 on the next possession. That way you can hit your mini goal. So you can see by just setting those mini goals, you're going to score more points, you're going to get more shots, and you're going to be an overall better scorer in the actual game. So try out the mini goals and see if they help you out. And don't forget, if you want a question answered, leave it in the comment section down below. I pull all the questions from there. And if you see another comment that somebody asked that you like, hit that little thumbs up button next to it so I know that's what you want to see. Also, if you're new to Shot Mechanics, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, whatever it is you got to do to support the show. And also, we put out 4 to 5 videos every single week, and they all get you better. So you're definitely going to want to subscribe. And if you're new to Shot Mechanics, you're also going to want to click the button above or the link in the description, get a free copy of my top 3 favorite shooting secrets. These are shooting secrets you can plug directly into your game, and they'll probably increase your shooting percentage the very first time you try them. So I highly recommend those. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castello with Shot Mechanics Basketball. Thank you so much for watching, and splash on.